morning.
Morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we will continue our topic, glucocorticoids, corticosteroids. So today we will discuss about the we will discuss on adverse drug reaction of the glucocorticoids. Till now we have discussed about the introduction of the corticosteroids. Okay, till now we have discussed about the introduction of the glucocorticosteroids, action of the corticosteroids, routes of administration, their mechanism of action, about the indications of the glucocorticoids. Okay, so important part. And today we will discuss about the adverse drug reaction. So it's a very important part. Glucocorticoids, very important part of the corticosteroids, the adverse drug reactions. Okay, so number one, adverse drug reaction due to the mineralocorticoids and due to the glucocorticoids. So we will discuss about the adverse drug reactions because of the mineralocorticoids. So okay. So number one, so we know about the actions of the mineralocorticoids. The important actions of the mineralocorticoid is the act. The mineralocorticoids are the aldosteroids. They are secreted from the zona glomerulosa of the adrenal cortex. So once they are released, they are secreted and released from the zona glomerulosa of the aldosterone. If they are secreted from the zona glomerulosa of the adrenal cortex, they bind to their, they enters into the circulation, they reaches to their receptors. And the major receptors are the receptors. The main receptors of the glucocorticoids, they are present over the membrane of the collecting ducts of the renal tubules, over the membrane of the collecting ducts of the renal tubules. So they result the sodium in the water reabsorption. So because of the, if there is an excessive aldosterone secretion in the body, if the excessive aldosterone is given exogenously to the body, what will happen on the long term use? They can produce the sodium and the water retention in the body. Okay, when excessive sodium retention, that will lead to the hyponatremia. If the excessive sodium will retain in the body, that will result the hyponatremia. And if the excessive water will be retained in the body, that will lead to the edema. So sodium and the water retention, because aldosterone stimulates the aldosterone receptors which are present in the collecting ducts of the renal tubule. So because they induces the aldosterone protein, that will further stimulate the sodium and the water. Sodium channels which are present over the collecting ducts of the membrane of the collecting ducts. So that will lead to the reabsorption of the sodium and the water. So when the sodium and the water will be reabsorbed, that will lead to the hyponatremia and the retention of the body. So retention in the body, when there is a accumulation of the water in the body, that will lead to the edema. You can see in the picture, this is the edema. This one is the edema. It's a pitting edema. We can see here that the accumulation of the fluid in the interstitial tissue of the lower part of the body. Because of the, if the edema occurs, first of all, they occur to the lower part of the body because of the gravitation. They occur to the lower part of the body. So we can see here the edema. This is the swelling because of the accumulation of the fluid in the interstitial tissues. That will lead to the edema. So when you will press with the index finger, if the edematous part will be pressed, so what will happen? The displacement of the fluid will be there. So that will create the pit there. So this is the example of the pitting edema. Okay. Sodium and the water retention in the body. And the second is the hypokalemia. Okay. What happened in the how the hypokalemia occurs? When the sodium and the water when sodium will be reabsorbed, so what will happen? In excess, there will be the excessive excretion of the potassium along with the hydrogen ions. So when they're on the long-term use of the mineralocorticoids, that will lead to the hypokalemia. Loss of the potassium that will lead to the hypokalemia, and along with the loss of the hydrogen ions, so this potassium ions, there will be also the loss of the hydrogen ions. So that causes the metabolic alkalosis. That will lead to the metabolic alkalosis and the rise in the blood pressure. That means when the excessive sodium in the water will be retained in the body, so what will happen? The venous return will be increased. When the venous return will be increased, so it increase the cardiac output, that increases the blood pressure. So these are the adverse drug reaction because of the mineralocorticoids. Number one is the sodium in the water retention in the body. That is because of the reabsorption of the sodium from the collecting. That will lead to the edema and the hyponatremia. Hypokalemia and the metabolic alkalosis, it is because of the loss of the potassium. When the sodium will be absorbed, there will be the excessive loss of the potassium along with the hydrogen ions. So that will lead to the hypokalemia and the metabolic alkalosis, and the rise in the blood pressure because of the accumulation of the fluid in the body. Venous return will be increased. So venous return will be increased, that increases the cardiac. These are the adverse drug reactions of the mineralocorticoids. So what are they? They are the sodium and the water retention, hypokalemia, metabolic alkalosis, and the rise in the blood pressure. Okay. Is there any confusion? Should I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, because of the glucocorticoids, adverse drug reaction due to the glucocorticoids. So we know that the role of the glucocorticoids: carbohydrate metabolism, protein catabolism, and the lipid metabolism. Lipolysis of the lipid. There was the lipolysis of the lipid. So important adverse drug reactions of important. So due to the glucocorticoids, so one of the important adverse drug reaction when the glucocorticoids, they are used for the longer duration. Some diseases are there where the glucocorticoids have to be used for the longer duration. So many diseases are there, but like the nephrotic syndrome is there. We can say this even in case of the autoimmune disorder like SLE, glomerulonephritis, rheumatoid arthritis. In those diseases, glucocorticoids, or like as an immunosuppressive disease, glucocorticoids has to be given for the longer duration. So what happened on the longer duration use of the glucocorticoid, they produces one of the important feature in the human being or in the patient, that is for the Cushing's habitus. What's the cause of the Cushing's habitus? The cause of the Cushing's habitus is the we know that the role of the glucocorticoid is the lipolysis. What is the lipolysis? It induces the lipolysis. What is the lipolysis? Lipolysis is the hydrolysis of the lipids. We can say the triglycerides into the free fatty acid and the glycerol. So because of that, there will be the redistribution of the fat. To the central part of the body. So when I say the central part of the body, that is the abdomen, not to the upper limbs and the lower limbs, but to the central part of the body, we can say the face, abdomen. These are the central part of the body. Redistribution of the fat to the central part of the body. So that will lead to the Cushing's habitus. So what are the characteristics of the Cushing's habitus? The number one characteristic is moon face. You can see in this picture. This is the case of the Cushing's habitus. Moon face, moon-like face. You can see the round face is there. That's called the moon face. It is because of the lipolysis, fats are redistributed to the central part of the body. That's called the moon face. Okay, buffalo hump. In next picture, I will show you about the buffalo hump. That means the accumulation of the fat to the supraclavicular region. We will say later in next picture about the buffalo hump. Central obesity. Okay, centripetal obesity. That's also called the centripetal obesity. Abdominal. You can see the diffusion of the fat towards the abdomen. That's called the central abdominal. Okay, abdominal purpura and the purple striae. You can see the striae are there. Discoloration of the skin is there. It is because of the discoloration. It's abdominal purple. That's called the abdominal purple striae. And hirsutism. Hirsutism is the excessive growth of the hair in the body in the human being. Excessive growth of the hair in the human being at the part of the body where the growth of the hair is. minimal or the no. That's called the residual. Okay. So the Cushing's habitus, due to the glucocorticoids, Cushing habitus, one of the important. So what could be the cause of the Cushing habitus? Exogenous use of the glucocorticoids for the longer duration. Number one is the exogenous use of the glucocorticoids for the longer duration, and the number two cause is the because of the any disease of the pituitary gland or the hypothalamus, that will lead, or the adrenal gland, like we can say the cancer tumor of this all three reasons, that may lead to the excessive release of the cortisol, physiological cortisol for the longer duration. That also results the Cushing's habitus. So they are characterized by the moon face, buffalo arm, central obesity, hirsutism, and the abdominal purpur history. So what is the okay? So what is the this? This is the moon-like redistribution of the fat. Cause of the Cushing's habitus is the redistribution of the fat to the central part of the body after the lipolysis of the fat. So number one is the moon-like phase. Okay, you can see the deposition of the fat to the supraclavicular disc. That's called the buffalo arm. Okay, and the centripetal obesity, and the abdominal purpur history, and the history. These are the characteristics of the Cushing's habitus. Okay, so number one important, whenever they ask the adverse drug reaction of the glucocorticoid, you must start from the Cushing's habitus and their characteristics and their cause of the Cushing's habitus also. Okay. Second is the hyperglycemia. We know that the glucocorticoids, carbohydrate metabolism, they induce the gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis in the liver. So what's the gluconeogenesis? Gluconeogenesis is the breakdown of the amino acids into the glucose in the liver is called the gluconeogenesis. So the glucocorticoids induces the gluconeogenesis. So when the glucocorticoids are used for the longer duration, they enhances the excessive stimulation of the gluconeogenesis in the liver. So excessive glucose formation will be there. That will result to the hyperglycemia. Okay, and the hypertension. Not every time, but when the glucocorticoids, when they are given with the intravenous route, so transiently they stimulate the alpha-1 receptors which are present in the blood vessels. That will lead to the alpha-1 receptor mediated vasoconstriction that raises the blood pressure. So hypertension, they can result the transient hypertension. Okay, and the osteoporosis. Again, we have to remember the calcium metabolism, role of the glucocorticoids in the calcium metabolism. Glucocorticoids inhibits the calcium absorption from the GIT, and the glucocorticoids enhances the excretion of the calcium from the body. So overall effect will be the deficiency of the calcium in the human body, loss of the calcium in the human body. Other than that, glucocorticoids also increases the osteoclastic activity that causes the increases the bone resorption. So these all three effects ultimately, when the glucocorticoid is used for the longer duration, will produce the osteoporosis. Okay, so Cushing's habitus, hyperglycemia, hypertension, and the osteoporosis due to the glucocorticoid. So many are there, but we have to remember the cause of their adverse drug reactions also. Is there any confusion? Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, adverse drug reaction due to glucocorticoids continue. We will continue about the adverse drug reaction. Okay. Increased susceptibility to the infection. Why? Why the increased susceptibility to the infection? Because glucocorticoids suppresses the immune defense mechanism. Okay, like the cell-mediated immunity. Preferably the cell-mediated immunity. Because of that, what will happen when the glucocorticoids are used for the longer duration in the patients? The patients are more susceptible to the infection because glucocorticoids produces the they are the immunocompromised drug. They reduces the immune defense mechanism by reducing the cell-mediated immunity. Okay. Peptic ulceration, again, they may induces the secretion of they may induces the enhance the secretion of the gastrin. So when the gastrins are when the gastrins are stimulated, when there is increased release of the gastrin, that increases the secretion of the hydrochloric acid. So that produces the peptic ulceration. Delayed wound healing and the surgical incision. If there is a wound, patient on the glucocorticoids, if he develop the wound, or the patient on the glucocorticoids for the longer duration, if the surgery occurred and the surgical incision is done, so what will happen? There will be the delayed wound healing and the surgical incision. Delayed wound healing and the surgical incision. It is also again because of the reduced immune defense. The reason is the reduced immune defense mechanism. Oral candidiasis on the inhalation route. We have already discussed about that in the first year also. When the glucocorticoids are used through the inhalation route, when the glucocorticoids are used for the longer duration, they may produce the oral candidiasis. That's the fungal infection of the growth of the fungi, the growth of the fungi over the surface of the tongue. That's called the oral candidiasis. It is because of the reduced immune defense mechanism. The reason is the reduced immune defense mechanism, which is produced by the glucocorticoids on the long-term use. Okay, cataract and the glaucoma. So cataract is the opacity of the eye lens is called the cataract, and the glaucoma is they are the diseases of the eye. Cataract is the opacity of the eye lens. Okay, they are called the motia bindu. Okay, and the glaucoma is the excessive occlusion of the aqueous humor in the anterior chamber of the eye. In the anterior chamber of the eye, that's called the glaucoma. That's called the Zolbin. Okay, cataract into glaucoma. It is not because of the direct effect of the glucocorticoids, but glucocorticoids, they produces the hyperglycemia and the hypertension. It's because of the hypertension and the hyperglycemia, they are the risk factor for the development of the cataract and the glaucoma on the long-term use. Okay. Again, thinning of the skin due to the protein catabolism. We know that the role of the protein. What's the role of the glucocorticoids in the protein? The protein catabolism. Breakdown of the protein into the amino acid at peripheral part of the tissues, like the skeletal muscles and the skins. That causes the thinning of the skin. That is because of the protein catabolism. Okay. So adverse drug reaction, we will continue the adverse drug reaction due to the glucocorticoids, increased susceptibility to the infection because of the reduced immune defense mechanism. Peptic ulcer production, it is because of the stimulation of the gastrin production. Delayed wound healing and the surgical incision because of the reduced immune defense mechanism. Oral candidiasis on inhalation route because of the reduced immune defense mechanism. Cataract, glaucoma, it is because of not because of direct use of the glucocorticoids, because the glucocorticoids, they produces the hyperglycemia and the hypertension. Now the hypertension and the hyperglycemia, they are the risk factor for the development of the cataract and the glaucoma. And the thinning of the skin, it is because of the protein catabolism that is produced by the glucocorticoids. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Should I continue?
Yes,
Any
sir.
confusion? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other adverse drug reactions are there due to the glucocorticoids. Growth retardation in the children. Okay. If the glucocorticoids has to be given, if the glucocorticoids have to be given to the children who are growing because of some diseases, the problem will be the adverse drug reaction will be the growth retardation, because glucocorticoids inhibits the release of the growth hormone. And the psychiatric disturbances like psychosis and the depression, it is because of the direct effect of the glucocorticoids to the central nervous system. Okay. Other important thing is the suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. That means when there will be the excessive, so we know about the physiological regulation of the glucocorticoids from the hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary gland. From the anterior pituitary gland, corticotropin releasing hormone will be from the hypothalamus to the will will travel to the anterior pituitary gland. From the anterior pituitary gland, there will be the release of the adrenocorticotropic hormone, and from the adrenocorticotropic hormone from the anterior pituitary gland will enter into circulation, and they bind to the receptors which are present in the adrenal cortex, and there will be the release of the glucocorticoids from the adrenal cortex. Now, when the excessive, when glucocorticoids means the cortisol, we will say the cortisol. When the excessive cortisol will be present in the circulation, they will send the signal to the anterior pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. So there will be the further release of the corticotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus and the adrenocorticotropic hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. That's called the negative feedback mechanism. We know about that, no? But what will happen when the glucocorticoids is given exogenously? When the glucocorticoids will be given exogenously, what will happen? There will be the excessive concentration of the glucocorticoids in the circulation on the long-term use. So that will persistently suppresses that will persistently induces the negative feedback mechanism. That means there will be no further release of the, or there will be no, or the minimum further release of the corticotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus and the adrenocorticotropin hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. That will lead to the suppression of the release of the corticosteroids. We can say the mineralocorticoids and the glucocorticoids. That is called the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis suppression. That's called the hypothalamo. The spelling is wrong there. That's the suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. It is because of the, on the long-term use, glucocorticoids, there is the excessive concentration of the glucocorticoids in the circulation that will induce the negative feedback mechanism. So for the release of the glucocorticoids, or the, we can say the corticosteroids from the adrenal gland will be inhibited. That's called the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis suppression. Suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and the edema. We know that the edema is the adverse drug reaction of the mineralocorticoids. But some glucocorticoids are there. What they causes? Some glucocorticoids are there. What they causes? They also produces the mineralocorticoids like activity. The most important drug that also shows the mineralocorticoids activity. Glucocorticoid that also shows the mineralocorticoid activity is the hydrocortisone. That's called the edema. So the growth retardation, adverse drug reaction due to the glucocorticoid, growth retardation in children due to the inhibition of the growth hormone, psychotic disturbances. It is because of the direct stimulation of the central nervous system tissues and the suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. It is because of the negative induction of the negative feedback mechanism, and the edema is the mineralocorticoid-like activity of the glucocorticoid. These are the adverse drug reaction of the glucocorticoid. So many are there, like the Cushing's. So from the head to toe, adverse drug reaction of the glucocorticoids are present from the head to toe. They are the like the Cushing's habitus, hypertension, hyperglycemia, osteoporosis, peptic ulceration, delayed in healing, increased susceptible to the infection, growth retardation, psychotic disturbances, suppression of the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, okay, edema, thinning of the skin. These are the adverse drug reaction of the glucocorticoids. Okay, is that clear? Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, contraindications. Again, the contraindications of glucocorticoids. So we have already discussed about the diabetes mellitus. Either they are the absolutely contraindicated or they are the relatively contraindicated. If they are the relatively contraindicated, they can be given cautiously. If they are the absolutely contraindicated, they should not be given at any cost. Okay, so they are the contraindications are the diabetes mellitus. We know that. How is that? We know about that. Hypertension. We have already discussed about that. Osteoporosis, peptic ulcers, and the severe infections. Contraindication, that doesn't mean that they're absolutely contraindicated. That means that if they have to be given in such condition, they should be given cautiously. Okay. So the contraindications, the diseases where the glucocorticoids contraindicated are the diabetes mellitus, hypertension, osteoporosis, peptic ulcer, and the severe infection. These are the contraindications of the glucocorticoids. Okay. Should I explain it in detail? I think you know about that, no? We have already discussed about that. Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is the mnemonic of the how to remember the side effects of the glucocorticoids. Basically, I do not believe in the mnemonic, but it will help. It will it will be helpful to you to remember the it's the mnemonic is the glucocorticoid itself. Mnemonic is the glucocorticoid itself. So you can see that. No need to explain it. You can see that. Okay, glucocorticoid is the mnemonic for the how to remember the side effects of the glucocorticoids in 1 minute. Okay. Okay, effect of withdrawal. Effect of withdrawal. Okay. So effect of withdrawal. What will happen when the glucocorticoids will be effect suddenly withdrawn? When there will be sudden withdrawal of the glucocorticoids, corticosteroids, or we can say the glucocorticoids, because when the glucocorticoids, so we know that in certain diseases, when the glucocorticoids will be stopped suddenly, that will result the acute adrenal insufficiency. That will result the acute adrenal insufficiency. How? Number one thing, we know that the glucocorticoids, they are given in two conditions. Number one, as a replacement therapy, That means when the body is not able to synthesis or release the glucocorticoids. Okay. And the second is the as an immunosuppression or as an anti-inflammatory drug. And the other thing we have to remember is the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis. When the glucocorticoids are given for the longer duration, so what will happen? They produces there will be excessive accumulation in the body will be plasma will be there, so that will lead to the okay, we will continue later. Only 2 slides are there. We will continue later. So less than 1 minute in there. So I think the 15 minutes again we will continue our lecture for the 15 minutes, and then we will discuss about that effect of the withdrawal of the glucocorticoids in detail. Right? Okay, we will continue after 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the effect of withdrawal. Effect of withdrawal. Very important thing about the effect of the withdrawal. When the glucocorticoids, they are suddenly withdrawn. When the glucocorticoid, if the patient is using the glucocorticoids for the longer duration, if it is suddenly withdrawn, what will happen? When the glucocorticoids, or we can say the corticosteroids, when they are suddenly withdrawn, if they are used for the longer duration, if they are suddenly withdrawn, what will happen? They may lead to the acute, they may lead to the condition that is a very life-threatening situation that is called the acute adrenal insufficiency. So what is the acute adrenal insufficiency? Acute adrenal insufficiency is the condition where the adrenal cortex will not be able to secrete the corticosteroids at any cost. That is called the acute adrenal insufficiency. It's a life-threatening situation. You know that the glucocorticoids or the corticosteroids, let's say the corticosteroids, or we can say the glucocorticoids, they are given in the 3 conditions. Number 1 is the replacement therapy. What's the replacement therapy? The drug is given exogenously, glucocorticoid is given exogenously when the adrenal cortex doesn't secrete the glucocorticoids. That's called the for the replacement therapy, and as an anti-inflammatory and as an immunosuppression. So in replacement therapy, there's already the condition that's called the deficiency of the release of the glucocorticoids, and when they are given for the anti-inflammatory or the immunosuppression or the as a replacement therapy, what will happen? They may lead to the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis suppression. So this all because number 1, the glucocorticoid, the adrenal gland itself doesn't secrete the glucocorticoids, and the second is which is contributed by the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis suppression that will lead to the acute adrenal insufficiency, and it is characterized by the hypotension, because no glucocorticoids, that produces hypertension, hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, weakness, tiredness, nausea, vomiting, and sometimes the collapse. That's called the effect of the sudden effect of the it's an effect of the when the glucocorticoids suddenly withdraw. What is that? That is the acute when the glucocorticoids stop. When the glucocorticoids is stopped suddenly, that will result the condition life-threatening situation that's called the acute adrenal insufficiency. So what happened in the acute adrenal insufficiency? Glucocorticoids, adrenal cortex will not be able to release the glucocorticoids and the mineralocorticoids. That's called the acute adrenal insufficiency. Now, this condition, acute adrenal insufficiency, is contributed by the hypothalamo-pituitary-adrenal axis suppression, and they are characterized by the hypotension, hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, weakness, tiredness, nausea, vomiting, and the colic. So this one is the life-threatening situation. That is the reason glucocorticoids or the corticosteroids should not be stopped suddenly. They should not be stopped suddenly. If they have to be stopped, they should be stopped with the tapering of the dose. With the tapering of the dose. That means if the patient is on the 40 milligram glucocorticoids, if the patient is taking the glucocorticoids 40 milligram daily. So when it has to be stopped, it should not be stopped immediately. Rather, it should take the 1 to 2 months to reduce the dose of the glucocorticoid. Like for the 15 days, it should be given 30 milligram per day, and then for the next 15 days, it should be given 20 milligram per day, and then for the next 15 days, it should be given 10 milligram per day, and the next 15 days should be given the 5 milligram per day, and then in this manner, it should be stopped gradually, but not the immediate. That is called the tapering of the dose. Okay, that's the effect of the withdrawal. Okay, so the important thing is here, glucocorticoid should not be stopped immediately. It should be stopped with the gradual reduction of the dose. That's called the tapering of the dose. If it is stopped immediately, it will result in a life-threatening situation that's called the acute adrenal insufficiency, and it is contributed by the hypothalamo-pituitary-adrenal axis suppression. Okay, this is the acute adrenal insufficiency is the life-threatening situation. Okay, should I continue? Any confusion here?
No, sir.
If anyone any confusion, I will explain it again. Should I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the precautions. When the glucocorticoids have to be taken, when the glucocorticosteroids have to be taken, what precautions should be used? Number one thing, it should not be taken for the longer duration. Number one thing, if there's an anti-inflammatory condition is there, suppose anti-inflammatory condition is there, it should not be taken for the longer duration. For the immunosuppression or for the replacement therapy, there's no choice, but the glucocorticoid has to be given for the longer duration. Other than that condition, it should not be used for the longer duration. If it is used for the longer duration, so not longer duration, not the longer dose, longer duration, it should be initiated from the minimum dose. It should be initiated from the minimum dose. Okay, and should not stop immediately, because reason is the development of the life-threatening situation that's called the acute adrenal insufficiency. It should be stopped by reduction of the gradually by the reduction of the dose. That's called the tapering of the dose is required over the few weeks. And the other thing, when the glucocorticoid has to be given, 2/3 of the dose should be given early in the morning, and the 1/3 of the dose should be given late noon to mimic the circadian rhythm of the physiological cortisol secretion. That means we have already discussed about that physiological cortisol secretion. When in normal human body, physiological cortisol, the duration of the secretion of the timing of the secretion of the physiological cortisol secretion is the 2/3 of the 2/3 of total amount is secreted in early morning. We can say 7 to 8 a.m. and the 1/3 is secreted at later noon, at the late noon. That we can say that at around the 3 to 4 p.m. around the 3 to 4 p.m. So to mimic that timing, glucocorticoid should be 2/3 of the dose should be given early in the morning, and the 1/3 of the dose should be given in the late noon to mimic the circadian rhythm of the cortisol secretion. These are the precautions for the glucocorticoids. These are the precautions for the glucocorticoids. Okay. So we know that the glucocorticoids, they are the important drugs. They are the important drugs in the clinical settings. There are so many indications of the glucocorticoids. Other than that, we also know about the adverse effects of the glucocorticoids from head to toe. I think every system of the body, it is affected by the glucocorticoids. Almost all of the system of the body, they are affected by the glucocorticoids. Okay, either the in favorable or against the favorable manner. That's called the which are affected by the glucocorticoids. So when the glucocorticoid has to be given, so we have to remember that what we are giving. We are giving the glucocorticoids. So we have to remember that there are so many effects of the glucocorticoids. Okay, there are so many adverse effects of the glucocorticoid. So number one thing, it should be started with the minimum dose. It should not be given for the longer duration. If it has to be given for the longer duration, it may produce so many adverse effects. So we have to consider their contraindication part also. Other than that, if the glucocorticoid has to be stopped, it should be stopped. It should not be stopped immediately. If it will be stopped immediately, it will produce the acute adrenal insufficiency. So the tapering of the dose is necessary. Tapering of the doses over the week is necessary. And while giving the glucocorticoids, we have to consider the timing of the giving the glucocorticoid. That's a 2/3 of the dose should be given in the early morning, and the 1/3 of the dose should be given in the late noon. The reason is to mimic the timing of the physiological cortisol secretion. That's the important thing about the precautions of the glucocorticoids. Okay, is there any confusion? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, is there everything is clear? Any confusion? Any confusion? Kaita?
No, sir.
No confusion, sir.
Sir.
Okay, now so that is the end of the topic, glucocorticoids, corticosteroids. We have discussed about the introduction of the glucocorticoids. Okay, the introduction of the corticosteroids, physiological secretion of the corticosteroids, mechanism of action, indications, adverse effects. Okay, physiological actions and the precautions. These are all the important part of the glucocorticoids. So most importantly, what they will ask from the glucocorticoids? Most importantly, they will ask about the in theory portion, in PBL portion, in MCQs portion, even in the practical portion, if it will be happening in the future, then they will ask about the mechanism of action of the glucocorticoids. You have to remember the drugs. Okay, you have to remember the name of the drugs, mechanism of action, indications, all, and the adverse drug reactions. Adverse drug reactions, and what will happen? They simply ask, Baiba, what will happen when the glucocorticoids will be stopped immediately? They will produce the acute adrenal insufficiency. How that can be minimized? That can be minimized by the tapering of the dose. So many clinical related questions can be asked from this topic. Okay, the important thing is the mechanism of action, indications, and the adverse drug reactions. Adverse drug reactions. Okay, so that is the end of the corticosteroids. We have completed the corticosteroids topic. Okay, any confusion? Any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay, attendance please. Attendance please. Okay, roll number 1, 2,
Present, sir.
3,
Yes, sir.
4,